My name is Gaurav Gupta, and I'm creator and lead developer of JPA modular tool. And I'm also part of NetBeans Dream Team and the initial member of Apache NetBeans ID. So before we start, I have question. How many have ever used or currently using the NetBeans ID? Can I raise hand? Use. Yeah. Okay. Use. Yeah. Okay. So the agenda is first I will demonstrate the JPA modeler basic uses and then the technology stack supported by it, the front end and the back end technology. And then I will demonstrate the DB modeler and the reverse engineering tool. So I will first show you the installation step of it. So you just have to go to jpamodeler.github.io and here you can see the download now button. And you can get the complete installation instruction from here. So right now I have already installed it here in my system. So I'll go to NetBeans ID and create the new project first. Maven web application. And in the demonstration, I will develop the human resource management system. So I will name it HRMS. Just select your server, whatever you want. And then, so this is an empty project. It doesn't have any source code files right now. With the only dependency of Java E7. So it is created. Here is an empty pom.xml file, only dependency of Java 7. And now I will create one diagram here, just new. This is a file window. Go to persistence, JPA modeler. I will name it HRMS model. So this is the empty diagram that is available. So this topic was about rapid application development for Java, means enterprise application. So the most important aspect of the enterprise application is data. So you commonly write the program to collect the data, to transfer the data, and to generate the report based on the collected data. So this tool covers two main important aspects. One is to design the model where you can design the DB, your business model, and then generate the entities or hibernate entities, you can say. And another is you can not only just the JPA entities, you can also generate the complete project. So you have one initial setup of the project where Docker is already configured, where all of the Maven dependencies are already configured, and the base common modules are generated. So I will create the simple case scenario here. I will drag one entity and rename it to employee. And add some attribute here. First name, last name. And I will create one more entity here. Name it to project. I will add one attribute here, name. And then I will connect both the entities with these relationships. So employee can have many projects. Right now I will use this one. And now this basic diagram, there is one basic simple case scenario, employee can have project. So there is one generate source code button on the right click. Just click here. And now you have option on which package you want to generate the entities. I will take it HRMS.model. I will start from here. Yeah. So now you want to generate the business service, just select session bean. Then on the controller layer, which technology you want to use. It is right now I'm using REST. And on the viewer layer, which technology you want to use. Right now I'm using AngularJSON. So here is the complete stack of the technology. So here's a backend technology stack. You have option Docker, Then based on the Docker, you want to use Pyra image or Wildfire image. You want to use MySQL or Postgres. You want to use Arquillian, REST, Derby, and Matrix, Swagger. All of these options are available. You have to just select the technology and the code part will be generated. This is a backend technology stack and this is a front-end technology stack. You have option for, you have Webpack, Yarn, Bower, Angular 1, Angular 2, TypeScript, Swagger, Bootstrap. These are the front-end technology stack supported in this tool. And it is not restricted to it. You can create your own generator. So these are the tabs are flexible. You create your own plugin and install in the NetBeans. It will dynamically injected here. You can suppose you want to create the new viewer technology for React.js. So there is a one tutorial here. Create your own generator. Just go through it. There is one sample application. Just download it and modify the source code for that, and you will learn. Like, I have one example here. So this is a sample snippet for X technology, whatever you want to develop. Here is the in which layer you want to add. This is business. You can use viewer. The name of the technology, so it will be available on that combo box. And here is the code you will execute, and the basic information, just like you want to get the complete information of the modeler, what entities you have in the diagram. So all of this information you can get from this entity mapping. So you just have to explore it. There is sample project. You can go through it and you can create your own generator if you want. So the benefit you will get, you already get the benefit of existing modeler tool. You don't need to create the REST application because all of these things are already generated. You just need to add your own generator. So right now I will generate one application, AngularJS 1. I will select the server, Pyara here, database Derby. Okay. So if you want to configure the package or prefix or suffix of the class, you have option here. If you want to add the pagination here, you have option. You can configure the Angular module title. So first of all, I will create one more new project because I will create 2-3 sample applications. So this project are only for designing, but it is not restricted. You can generate a source code in this project itself. So right now I will name it AngularJS 1 here. I will create one more project in which I will generate the AngularJS 2. And one more project for MVC. So first I will start with the AngularJS 1. So all of these things are selected. No, here is I can change the project, in which project I want to generate the source code. So you can see the available option of the project in the NetBeans ID. So I have selected one. All of these technology are already selected. Right now I have not selected the Docker. I will show this in another demo. So this application will be installed in the available server in the NetBeans ID, not in the Docker instance. So here it will be generated. So in the deployment for AngularJS 2, it will take some time because the first time it will download the dependency, and after that it will take approx 10 minutes. And after that, once you will again deploy, then it will take approx 10 or 15 seconds, maybe less than 1 minute. So right now I'm going to parallelly start another tutorial of the JPA model usage. So I will create one more diagram here.
You want to connect the battery?
It will work 1 hour. Yeah. So in this diagram, I will show you the usage of JPA modeler. So here I have created one more again entity, employee, and there is, you can see one attribute is already generated. This is a primary key. You can rename, or if you want to create one more primary key, you can. Here is the option, ID. Mouse pointer is not available. Mouse pointer is not available on the screen. So you can see the option with the key. And if you want to create one more attribute, this is a basic attribute, the second icon. And just like I will name it first name. Add one more attribute here. Last name. One more. Active. And if you would like to change the data type here, just go to property panel. Yeah. So here is the option, field type. For the active, I will select the Boolean parameter here. And if you want to add some more attribute, just like I will add the date type, birth date, and one more for profile pic. So this attribute will cover the JPA basic attribute scenario. And for the enum, I will create one more gender. So for the date, there is a one option, temporal, and for the enum there is a enumerated. So I have to select temporal here, and whatever the date you want to add. If you want to go with the Java 8 date option, just like local date, so you can browse here and search the whatever the custom object you want to select for this. For this one, I will go with the util date, and the profile pic. You can go with this. This is a large object, and I will select the byte array for here. And for this is a gender type, it is an enum type. So I will create one more enum type here. So you can connect with the external process from this attribute. So now you can see it is gender type available is here. So if you want to visualize the database of this entity diagram in the same page, you don't have to generate the source code and compile it, then run to create a database to visualize what is going on the database side, which type of field column will be generated in the table. So you just go here, visualize DB, and it is taking problem with the gender type here. I will look on this, I think getting some issue here. So I will visualize DB here. So is a database of this table employee, and if you want to change the database type here, for example, currently it is S2, and I will connect with the Derby. So if you look in the database type here, there is one change. For example, let's look at profile pic is binary large object in the Derby, and if I will change the MySQL, then what happens? It is long blob. And if I will change the S2, it is again binary large object. So whatever the database you have connected here in the service window, if you want to go to service window, Then here is the option for all of the available windows here. So in the service window, you can connect the new database here, and this database option will be available in the database modeler. So whatever database you want to connect, you will get the same information what you will get on the compile time and the runtime on the generation of this entity, execution of this entity. So if you want to get the SQL queries here, there is one option, view SQL of this table. So is the employee table SQL query. So next I will create one more relationship here by adding one more entity, and I will name it project. JSON, sorry. I'm not getting. You can add. It is flexible, yeah. So I will name it. And here you can see there are options 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to one, many to many. So whatever the scenario, you can add it here. And again, I will visualize the database. So this is the employee table mapped to this employee table, and project entity mapped to this project table. So sometime in your company or the project on which you are working, there is some principle like you have to add some prefix before the table. For example, this is a HRMS project I'm developing, so I have to add HRMS, yeah, HR prefix, just like that for naming convention. So I'm adding here HR underscore employee, and also in the project table name I will add HR underscore project. So I will save the diagram, get back to the entities, and generate the only entities. Right now I'm generating only the entities here in the same project. So it is generated. So if I will go to employee table, source code, the source code is generated, and here is the table name that I have changed in the database modeler. So if you want to another changes, just like you want to add underscore here between these, maybe for a naming convention. So you are just designing the model in the JPA modeler page, and then designing the same in database modeler in this DB modeler page. The both information is combined and generated in the JPA entity source code. So I will again save this model and generate the source code again. Go back to this generated source code. So whatever we have changed in the database, it is now reflected in this Java program. And again, I will do one more optimization here. There is one project foreign key, project ID foreign key mapped from employee to project table. So if you don't want this information, this foreign key here, and you want to create the join table, so here is the one option, create join table, and I will name it HR underscore EMP underscore project. So this is a join table is created. I will rename. If you want to rename, if you don't want to rename, it will create the by default. This is the by default column, but the table name is customized. I have given the table name. But if you want to modify the column name, then just give your own column name. So I will again save this diagram and generate the source code again. So this is the information I have given in the database. The table name, join table name is HR employee underscore project, and the join column is I have given project ID and employee ID. Are you getting this information? Yeah. So previously I have created one project, the source code AngularJS one that is available here. Right now I'm leaving this window and going to the generated AngularJS one project that was generated, that I have generated previously earlier. So these are generated source code of the AngularJS one project, and here is the AngularJS files. These are sample file AngularJS one. So I will deploy it. Before that, I will start the Para server here. At the same time, I will also generate the new project for AngularJS 2. I will select the session bean, and in the controller, I will select the rest. And now I will select the AngularJS 2. It is now in beta state. If you are using in your new project, just wait for 2 weeks. So it will be the stable release. So at this time, I will select the Docker instance here. So I will enable the Docker and select the Docker instance. If you are not aware how to use the Docker in the NetBeans, then first go to the service window here. Here is a one tab, one option, Docker. If you want to add one more instance here, you can add Docker here. And you have to, the machine should be ready. The Docker instance machine should be ready. And here is a complete tutorial of that, this Docker. So if you are missing some information here, you can get the complete running information here. These are running the file. So all of this information of this Docker is available here. So you can get just like a video running from it. So suppose I will add one more Docker instance here, and the name, I will name it Docker start dev2. So I have started one more instance of Docker dev2, and here I will name it. So I'm showing you how to add new instance of Docker in the NetBeans. So I will name it dev2 here, and I will take the path of this Docker machines installation from here. So this is a certificate path. So new Docker instance is available here in the NetBeans. I think the same IP conflict I'm getting. So just like it will take some time, I think 1 minute installation. So just seem like I have added above one more instance dev, which have already some images, because right now I cannot go with the empty instance. So it will take approx 20 or 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes to download the image. Right now it already have Para, Postgres, MS SQL, JBoss. I will remove this. It's already running. There are 2 instances already running. I will remove this, and I will create the new instance here. So it have only server images and the database images. So I think dev2 has started. I will check the environment variable by the Docker machine env and the Docker machine name, just like dev2. It is getting certificate generation problem. So right now I will generate the source code from here for the AngularJS 2. I will select the AngularJS 2 project from here. Sysbean, REST, AngularJS 2, and in the Docker, I will select the dev machine here. And in the server side, I will select the Pyra image here. And the database, which database you want to select, you can go with this. Right now I'm using MySQL here. You can set your username, password, data source configuration, DB name configuration. So whatever you will give, it will create the same instance for that. Suppose right now I'm giving the sample DB name. If you want to get sample 2, then it will create the sample 2 database in the Docker instance. So I will generate this one in the AngularJS 2 project. Right now AngularJS 1 have already generated. Pyra server is also started. I will deploy this into this available Pyra server in the NetBeans ID. And the AngularJS 2 project will be deployed in this Docker instance here. So both are deployed in the different machine. First, Pyra is connected from here. Now I'll deploy it. And the source code generation from the AngularJS 2 is going on here. So I have some time limitation, so I am doing the things parallelly. So for the AngularJS 2, 1, and the same time I'm also doing the demonstration of the basic usage of the JPA model. So because AngularJS 2, it is going to first time in this dev instance, so it will take 15 minutes. But from the next time, it will take approximately less than 1 minute. I will show you the reason. Why? Because it is using the yarn tool, it is downloading the complete dependency from the internet inside the temporary folder of the project. So once it is downloaded, it will take less than a minute. Just like the Maven project, how it works, it is downloaded the jar file from the internet in the first time in the repository of the local system. So this. So one more thing I missed here. When I'm generating the source code, here is an option, test case. So if you look here, the test package, here is some available test case. So it generates the Arquillian test case. If you are not aware with the Arquillian is the integration test framework for the Java middleware, where it manages the deployment and embedded container and the framework initialization. So you just need to focus on your business test. So here is some sample REST file and the correspondent this test file. So for example, there is one employee controller with the actual REST file generated and have some basic CRUD methods. And this is the Arquillian test case where the same REST method are tested from here. So here you can add your own business method, just like you want to add some business functionality in the employee REST controller, then you can also add the new test case from here. So it gives you the basic setup. So the basic setup, what basic setup is, if you will go with the application test, there is a complete hierarchy to manage the project, the structure of the project.
Now you are generating any code.
Yeah.
Is the JPA modeler plugin which is generating this one?
Actually, how many are here know about the JHipster?
Yeah, I am aware of it.
JHipster is doing the source code generation for Spring and Angular. So they have team approx 258 contributors. And for the JPA modeler, I am the single one developing. So I am taking the responsibility of the backend of the Java 8 code. Java 8 or whatever in the moving forward, the technology is connected with the Java 8. So from the front-end perspective, I am taking the template from the JHipster. What is the AngularJS 1, AngularJS 2. So whatever they are providing, I am taking the template from there. So the front-end file, whatever is generated, is from the JHipster. So I've added the copyright here. I have taken the permission from that.
Okay.
And if you look at the home page, I've given the credits to JPA. So I also think it is not good idea to create the duplicate project. If they have many developers. For example, right now approx 12 developers are developing the AngularJS 2 project. Then it is good if I'm using their effort, because we both are working the open source. Yeah. So what the setup you will get here, the web XML, bean.xml, the basic SQL, the dependencies, all are already developed here, are generated here. So you just need to add the business test case, business logic, and if you go with form.xml here, the dependencies, profiles, all of these things are generated here. So the complete project is set up. All setup is already there. So I think it is something. AngularJS 2 project has been generated. So it is showing one info. Webpack Maven profile should be active to activate the Webpack. And another thing it is showing. Another thing it is showing, project display attribute is not configured from the UI. Employee display attribute is not configured from the UI. So the sense it's showing here, it is. I will show you the reason why it is giving the info this warning. So right now I think the AngularJS 1 project has been executed, running here. So I will go with the open in browser. So here's the Angular 1 application that is generated. So right now I think session is already going on. So there are 2 user already created here. If we'll go to the source code here, other sources. So 2 users are already available here. One is admin, another is user. So I will log in with the admin. So you have entities, whatever we have designed in the diagram here in the first model, this one. So if you want to create one more employee here, right, right now no project is available. So I will create one more project. And now there is one project is, yeah, now you're getting 2 instead of you should get the JPA modeler. So that's why we are getting the warning here. It is showing you have not configured the UI display attribute. So how can we configure? Just go here in the employee and which attribute you want to select in the UI to display it. So for the project, I will select, for example, name. So then if you will again generate the source code and then the UI will be generated here, the JPA modeler project name will be visible here. So right now I'm going with the 2. So this is a thread application, basic application is generated, except that you are getting the complete admin application, just like you can modify the user information. You have option to reset the password. You can create the new user. You can add the role to user. And also when you are developing the application, you also need to know what is going on the production side. So with the matrix, you can get the complete details of the production, the running thread, except that these controller request. For example, these are we have called on the employee entities. So right now, these are number of requests going on the server side. So with the matrix, you can get the complete detail of the production server. Also that you have developed, now we have developed the REST, we have generated the REST application. We also need the documentation. At this time, the AngularJS 1 client is generated, but somehow if you want to connect with the mobile application, and the mobile developer needs the documentation. They cannot go with the source code. Yeah. So, and another thing, you have either you have to write the documentation, or you can logically use one tool that can generate the documentation for you. So if you observe here, there is one more option available at this time. In the REST panel, there is one Swagger documentation. So Swagger is a framework that generates the documentation of the project at the build time. So if you look here, API. So is your APIs available here. You can invoke from this panel. You can test these APIs. For example, get all employee. I will call it from here. So here, all of the options are available to invoke, to test this REST API that is available in the generated source code. So we have tested, we have checked this AngularJS1 application. Now it's time for 2. So 2 is already generated. And the Docker instance is, I think, running. Docker instance is running, and these images are available. So I will close the AngularJS1 project from here. Now it is time for 2. So let's see what are the available source code here. Here is one Docker file is generated and one Docker compose file is generated. So I have selected Payara server. So there is one image of Payara full server is available here. On basis of that, on top of that, the data source and the JDC drivers are registered here. Previously I have selected the MySQL. So MySQL configuration is available here. And this is a Docker compose file, which is combining both two images here. One is your application and another is the MySQL. So you have given the configuration in the panel. So this configuration is now available here. Still you can change later. So in this, you got the one info, the Maven profile should be active. And one more thing, the Docker profile should be active. If you will not activate the Docker profile, then again, it will install locally in your available server. So if you'll go with the Docker profile, then it will connect with the available Docker instance. How? And at the time we have selected the Docker server, Docker instance from here. So this is a dev server. So if you look at the actual source code where it is connected in the Maven, so this project is using the Fabric IO. This is a Maven plugin, which is using which Docker image can be built from the Maven command. You don't need to go with the actual Docker command to run the image, to build the image. So I will open the Maven file here. And I will go to Docker profile. There is one profile Docker. If you will activate this, then all of the build and installation will be done in the Docker instance. If you will not activate, then it will work as the previous AngularJS project has been deployed in the local instance of the Payara. So now you can see there is one plugin, Fabric 8 Docker Maven plugin, which is invoking the Docker build and the start. So if you will not use this plugin, then you have to create the manual var file, then package these instance, and manually you have to fire the Docker build, Docker installation command, all of these things. But here, all of these things are done at the same Maven form.xml file. So here you can see it is connected with the Docker compose.yaml file, and the Docker compose YAML file is connected with the Docker file. This is connected with the Docker file, and context is showing the current directory. If you will move the Docker file into another folder, then you have to provide the name of this connected folder. So have you got the connectivity, how Docker is executed from this project? Any question on the Docker?
Yeah, I have. So is the Docker instance running on your Windows box or is it connected?
No, it is running in my system.
As
Yeah. So I think dev2 is also already started, and I will check the environment variable. If it is available, then it is running fine. The dev2, yes, it is available here. So the path of IP is 101. So I will also connect the new instance here. I will show you how it is working in the NetBeans. I will not run the dev2 because dev2 doesn't have the this downloaded image. It is a blank machine. Maybe some image will be available. So I will add IP here 101. Whatever the available here, the configuration available here, and I will name it to dev2. So let's see what all the images are available here in this container machine. So I think only 2 images are available. So Pyra and MySQL. I can also run this project in this because in the generated project, it also requires the Pyra and MySQL. So one more thing, how this project is connected with the dev machine. So there is a one machine name is configured here. Maven variable is configured here. This is a Docker machine. So I will go with this where it is configured here. Here the property is given Docker dev. If you will change here dev2, then this project will build and install for the developer this Docker instance dev2. So right now it is connected with the dev. So as I previously stated, for the AngularJS 2 you need Webpack profile, and for the Docker you need Docker profile. So these two profile I will activate at this time. And here's a complete generated source code for AngularJS 2. These are the TypeScript file. And in the AngularJS 1, you have seen the JS file. Now it is the TypeScript file. You are getting error because I have not installed the TypeScript plugin of the NetBeans, because I am not developing the TypeScript, and I'm also, frankly speaking, I am not much aware with the TypeScript. I have just integrated the AngularJS 2. I don't know much about the AngularJS 2 because I am providing the source code generation module. So I also even don't know much about the AngularJS 1, but I know how to run it because I am providing the tool. So from the front end, I am not much a good guy. So, but these things I have integrated from the JHIFTer project. So now you have option to generate the complete AngularJS 2 application. Whatever the JHIFTer are providing, you can go with the Java 8.
one question related to the profiles which you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So the profiles, whether it is a Docker profile or Webpack,
Yeah.
they are available only when you're using Pyra. For example, if you are using a commercial here, do they have?
No, it is not. There is no connectivity to the Pyra. You can use Wildfly, you can use Tommy, you can use WebLogic, whatever you want to say. Right now I'm used to Pyra and Wildfly, and I have provided the support for these two, and these two are open source.
So I need Java 8 compatible.
Right now Java 8 is not available. It will be available in the end of 2017. Yes, but yeah, I have shown in the presentation this tool is for Java 8 because some API of Java 8 is available. I can use independently. Yeah, so there is one TypeScript NetBeans plugin. You can go with here and you will get the plugin for TypeScript. There should be available one plugin. Yeah, TypeScript Editor. So if you are doing the AngularJS 2 development, then you can install this plugin and you will not get any error, whatever it is showing here. Yeah. So by default, Webpack is already configured in the NetBeans. So if you are building this project from the outside, from the command prompt, then you have to give the two profile Webpack, Docker. So right now Webpack is already enabled. I will only enable the Docker here. Now I will build this project. No need to run it. It will build and it will be installed in the dev2. So as I told, it will take some time. So I will again move to another scenario. So here I have previously created one more project, HRMS_MVC. So I will also show you. You can create the Java 8 application of MVC 1.0. It is new specification, but unfortunately it is removed from the Java 8. So for this technology, you have option for JSP. There is no AngularJS1, no AngularJS2. So you can go with this. I forgot to select the project here. So the AngularJS2 build is going on here. There is one yarn build tool. It will execute the test case from here. So there is a JSP application is generated here and in the MVC project. This is the MVC 1.0 application. It is generated. Now I will run in the local instance of the Vira. One application is already installed here, the AngularJS1, and here I will again install the new deploy the new application, MVC application here. So I think it will be done quickly. It will not take much time. I think it is available. Yeah. So this is the MVC application that is generated from the JPA modeler with the front end of the JSP pages, normal HTML and Bootstrap CSS. Yeah. So now it is connected with the previous database for which I have created some information. So it have same project, I think, same data for JPA modeler, I think. So it will work same as the previous project, but have some different UI. Because this source code I have not taken from the JSP. But forwarding now, whatever the JPA is developing from the front end, I will import those things in my project.
I think just few card layouts, so that's all you are doing.
Yeah, this is normal JSP. Yeah. So this is for those who want to explore the MVC. So the backend source code is already generated, so you can explore. And there are many. Just copy this one. So if you look at this panel here, MVC, there are many technology options available here. You can select based on the MVC configurations. If you want to go with the hybrid clause, bean validation, the return type which you want to select, the security you want to add, XSS, CSRF, and authentication. This is a new JSR 375, the event observer, whatever you want to add, you can go with this configuration, and the source code will be generated based on that configuration. So now we have completed AngularJS 1 MVC, and the AngularJS 2 deployment is going on. The build is going on here. So now I will close the MVC, and we have done deployment of these two. Now I will also close this Pyra server. So the only thing remaining is AngularJS 2 here. So it will take some more time here, I think. So I'll go back to the previous demonstration of the JPA modeler. So here previously we have shown the basic attribute. For example, enumerated, large object, normal basic attributes, and the joint relationship between one to many, many to one, join table, custom join column. So if you want to add one more, there is one option, embedded, and embedded is a class where it don't have their identity. It can be shared between the multiple entities. So suppose I will take it at address. Or if you want to get the complete overview of the application here. So this is a complete one HRMS project where it have employee object, and now it is connected here. It is connected with the address. So I will not go with this the complete diagram. I will go with the small snippet here. So I will add here, suppose one attribute here. For example, city, state. You can add one more attribute, country, or like that. So here is the option. Two icon are here. First one is single instance of embedded, and the second one is collection of the embedded. So I will go with the single instance, and I will name it to home address right now. Right now I'm deleting this entity here and make it more simpler here. So now if you will generate the database here, both attributes are now available in the employee table. As I said, it doesn't have their identity. It is a part of entity. It could be shared across multiple entities. The object, not the instance. This structure could be shared across different entities.
So I have a question. So likewise, the actual guys are doing like they have created their own DSL.
Yeah, yeah.
They are using JDL.
JDL, yes.
So are you thinking to create an means import that JDL, or means you are having this kind of thing in this?
In my view, JDL is not better.
Are you thinking of
no,
that, or
no,
there is something behind how you persist this? Means you must be using any form of data.
Yeah, it is XML. It is XML. I will show you. It is XML, but it is not for the developer who are using the JPA modeler. It is just for storing the information. You don't need to go to edit the XML file. And it is actually verbose.
Like most of these technology,
Yeah, this is XML that is generated in the background that is used to save the information, but you don't need to go here and change the information here. And JDL is very limited. You can, and it is provided support for 100% the annotation for the JPA. If you want to create your constructor new method, you can do with this modeler inside the modeler. You don't need to go to the source code and add your over snippet code. But JDL is limited. You cannot define, for example, embedded, I think. They're there. Mapped superclass. I don't know. Mapped superclass is there. Oh, okay.
They have created their own studio. Like you have created a JPA model.
Yeah.
They have created their own studio. Like
Okay.
the extra studio.
Okay. And the main power of this JPA modeler is DB modeler. And there is no tool available that can do the that can design the entity, and at the same point you can modify the database, and both information is connected in the node. Such tool is available.
Just I want to know how are you processing the data and saving. Is that all you are
Yeah. Except the front end, I don't have any relations with the JS. Front end is used and it will be used in the future. So right now there are two attributes added from this address embedded class. One is city and state. I will rename it. For example, this is a home. Okay. I will rename it to home. State. Home city, and I will save it and get back to the generate source code again here. I only need to generate the entities to show you the actual generated source code here. If you click here, get back to. So this is the information generated for the source code, whatever I have overridden. Except that you can create the nested. I'm going to quickly demonstrate all of these things. You can create the nested relationship. For example, I will rename it to zip code here. And here you can also connect one more embedded here from here. From here to here. Now it is a nested embedded, and I will add one more attribute here. Prefix. Then
So how is the handler of the code is, which is object, that is the property. Java simple property, function object.
yeah. And as I previously shared, you can add the multiple. You can share this embedded across multiple entities or inside this entity. So I will add one more relationship here. I will use this embedded here, just like I want to add office address here. So now it is connected. So there are many things to explore. I think time is limited here. I have completed more than 1 hour. So the thing I missed here right now, I cannot demonstrate you because of time. So there is one option you can see: employee, have subclass, contract, and employee. And again, the nested inheritance here is full-time and part-time employee. So you can, there is one option. If you will look at the above arrow, and you can connect with the another class and make it the superclass. And the other thing, if you will look at their property panel, I will go here. There's simple. So I will demonstrate quickly here. In the employee, if you will click on the employee, and here you can go with the property panel. Here what you will see, you can make it abstract, you can add your annotation, you can extend it with another class, you can add interface, you can add your snippet, whatever custom method you want to add in the entity. Just select the location, you can add whatever the custom method. The purpose is you don't need to go to the source code and change the source code. And when you will again generate the source code, you will lose the source code, whatever you have changed manually in the entity. So whatever you have to do, you just go to this snippet and add whatever the custom code you want to add. Except that you can add the constructor, whatever multiple constructor, and you want to add custom, you want to inject custom source code in the constructor, you can add here. There are multiple options available. You can add equal hash code, toString method, you can add listener, you can add converter, the JPA functionality, JPA 2.0 have the converter functionality. Even you can add named query. There is one named query editor here. You can add multiple named query here. This is a editor is available. This is a JPQL editor is available here.
He actually created DB model importing a SQL.
Yeah. I need 10 minutes. Yeah, sure. Here is, I will show you. I'm going on that. There is native query designer. You can, there is a real this is an editor. Whatever the database you will connect, it will import the complete table, and you have the SQL editor here. You can create your native SQL query and connect with the data, this entity. Except that you can also import the store procedure here. Whatever database you will connect, it will import the store procedure from this database. For example, I will connect it with the Derby, and there should be one store procedure should be available here in the Derby. I think it is deleted. Yeah, it is deleted. If there was one store procedure available, it will be get here. You can import the store procedure directly in the modeler, and you don't have to write the store procedure name, their input output parameter. All of these things are important in this editor. Except that you have option to create the entity graph here. You can get all of the field here. You can test the actual whatever the graph you have selected. You can test the running environment from here. And except these functionalities, if you have existing database, just go to the new file, persistence. Here is one option, reverse engineering for the classes. Another option is reverse engineering for the DB. If you have existing classes, I'm sure if you are going to try the JPA modeler, you are not going to try with a new project. You have existing project. Then you can import the project. So for example, I'm importing some classes available here in this project. Right now, I think employment project class is available here, which is generated. So I will select these classes. I will name it. So this is the generated reverse engineering of the existing classes, because it already have one project in classes. I have deleted the relationship because of that it is not connected. And another option is you can import the existing database. In the both case, you will lose some information. For example, in the classes reverse engineering, you will lose the constructor, you will lose the equal hash code, but you will get the complete relationship information in the JPA model. And in the database, you cannot recover the mapped superclasses from the database, because database doesn't have information about the mapped superclasses if you have existing database. So I'll go here in the persistence. There is one option, database import. Now you have to select the database connection here. I will select, this is showing JDBC sample. I will select here. It doesn't have table. I think at this time it doesn't have tables, but this is the option. You can select the database table and click on the finish. It will create the diagram from the database. So I think Angular 2 has been deployed. This is the Angular 2 blocks going on.
You change it to extra deployment, right?
I think I'm getting some problem here. I don't know. So I think it will take much time right now, and it is not going properly here. So for the AngularJS 2, the stable release will be available in the next 1-2 weeks. So you can use in the actual project. And what I mean here, the stable release, I will use the current source code from the JHster, whatever they have done, and I will import in my project. So if you can trust on the JHster, you can trust here, the same thing. And in the moving forward, whatever the JHster will develop on the front end, the same part will be available in the JPA modeler. And whatever Java community is doing, for example, right now micro profile is going on, Java 8 development is going on. that is planned in the end of 2017, and in the next year Java 9 is going on. So all of the Java surrounding, whatever technology is going on the Java side, that will be part of the JPA modeler. And from the front end side, whatever JPA or the another tool, whatever the best I will found from for the front end perspective, I will do. If any contributor want to add your own plugin for React.js or whatever the technologies, they are good too. They can contribute here because I am not good in front end, so I'm not going for that. So this is flexible. You can add your own.
So as of now, you have support only for business.
Actually, it is, frankly speaking, I got many comments from the user. They told they are using NetBeans because of the JPA modeler. You can find tweets about that. So you are not, if you want to get the benefit of this, you will use the tool.
You said that I've been doing it for alone. So
Yeah.
which is a great work. But the software is all about reaching out the people, right? Reaching out the community. So it would be better to support every ID.
Actually, if you know about JBoss Forge, how many you know? JBoss Forge. Do you know they provide such that much functionality? They can connect with the DB, but they cannot use the. Actually, I'm using the each API of the NetBeans. I can connect with the Docker. I can connect with the database. Here you can see I have Sql Editor. I have JPA Editor. I have in this tool I have a store procedure editor. Whatever the NetBeans providing the functionality, it is tightly integrated with the NetBeans. So you will not feel like you are using another tool. It is completely connected with the NetBeans. That's why it is mostly using all of the technologies of the NetBeans. So it cannot be provided for the different ID.
So anyway, we can generate it using a modular and NetBeans, and then
Yeah, once you are generated, then it is a Marvin project. You can go. And mostly developers are using who are saying that I'm using NetBeans because of JPA modeler. They are using the modeler part. And if they are comfortable with the NetBeans, they can go with the NetBeans. If they are not comfortable with the NetBeans, they can go with the previous ID, whatever they are using. And from my perspective, NetBeans is the great ID for the Java E and also for the other technologies. But for the Java technologies, NetBeans is a great. It provides much support that other ID doesn't provide. So if you have question, you can connect with the Twitter account.
So round of applause for yes. Okay.
I tried to say what are JPA mentioned before, but I got stuck at the modeling part only. So at the time I spent some time.
Yeah, the JPA model.
I faced the problem. It is fulfilling.
JPA modeler started with the modeling, and it in the future, in this year, it will also provide the DTO modeler. So the three things: JPA modeler, DPA modeler, DB modeler, and DTO modeler is flexible. You can use in the complete life cycle of the project, in the complete lifetime and the maintenance. But the project generation part is for the first time. Once you will go with the generation of the first project, then you cannot generate all of the time when things. This is the first time. So you do all of the headaches are gone for the setup. But for the modeling, it is a lifetime support.
So Gaurav, how many days have you been working on this?
From last 4 or 5 years. Now I left the company and I am completely going with the open source from the next 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining us at Java Group Hyderabad. Thank you, Gaurav. You just set a ping on twitter.com, and then we were really happy to have you. So the last time we had, I could attend the meeting, but I heard a lot of things about you, that you're an open source contributor, and there were a lot of members in the user group. They were motivated to do with you. So thank you very much for joining us, and well, thank you, Srinivas Patatam, for introducing us to VDD. And VDD is something that we've been listening to, but no one really does it. So it's like a system with VDD. But yeah, okay. So thank you very much for doing it on VDD. A couple of announcements on Java 9. So we had a session today on by Ripu Xavier on Java 9. So the next plan on Java 9 is to get everyone up to speed and get familiar with Java 9. So what we will be doing is, in the next session, we'll be having a developer from the Java team in Oracle, and he'll help us go through the build process. So if anyone wants to contribute to the JDK, which is very difficult, but as such, if they have such intentions and they really feel that they've matured, doing open source development, and they want to really contribute at some level, then please join that session. It would be really amazing to actually go through the process. It is slightly involved, and it requires a bit of effort to basically understand and go through the entire thing. So thanks again for joining us. See you in the next evening.
Thank you.
Right now.